Good morning. Today I have the Central Pneumatic Abrasive Blast Cabinet. The box is actually so big it's screwing up my lighting. But working pressure 100 psi, air intake's 1/4 inch, 26 by 18 by 28, so it's very huge. It says you need 10 cubic feet per minute of air, 100 psi. So let's open it up. Of course, you go to the bottom, turn the strap over, pull that, comes right off. Same here. Pull that, comes right off. Manual, very important. The bottom inlet. I'll have to come back to that. This is going to be a hard one to shoot because it's just so big. Okay, in shipping, this whole side is dented here, polished out here. That's the only obvious thing I see. I'm not going to take it back for that. I just need to be more careful in the future and unbox it before I leave the store. Slowly learning that. I'm trying something different with the sound for this video. So if you like the sound better or worse, let me know. Give me some feedback. Okay, these are the latches to open it. So we've got an accessory box. Why they would have that shipping block in there. These are the extra covers. Oh, this is the extra cover. They give you two, and that's to go on the inside of the glass. And it looks like it's already got one installed. And that's to protect the glass from your blast media. I was a little apprehensive about buying this because if I'm doing sandblasting in here, isn't it going to strip the paint off the inside? That remains to be seen. Knowing that I was going to get this, I went ahead and bought one of these. So I could put that inside it. I'm just going to let the magnet hold on to it. Okay, what I don't like about this is it has a bunch of styrofoam. The principle of this is you do the sandblasting, the media is in here, it falls to the bottom to get recycled back up into the intake again. Well, if I've got all that styrofoam in there, I don't know if that's going to cause a problem or not. I've already found this is going to take a contortionist to get out because as you come up, it hits that. Well, if I try to take it out, then it won't come past this because it's too far down. Ideally, you could lift it up maybe, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Do the accessory pack. So what kind of goodies we got? That's the hose. Silicone sealant. Gives you 3 replacement tips for different size media. Silicone sealant. It says part of item 62454. And they give you a cap for that. Okay, I put the hose on this, and once it goes on, it would be a bear to get off. The nature of that rubber hose is just clinging to that steel. So this uses a Phillips screwdriver, and it's just a normal hose clamp. And if I have a driver, I might as well use it. And final tighten it by hand. They give you a recommended configuration of dryers and filters and regulators. Okay, let's take a look. Dust collection port. Okay, this is a cover. In case you're not doing dust collection. So you got to cover that hole. If you don't, when you're sandblasting, it'll spit stuff out. Okay, there's that bend. Looks like it was smashed on this side, which made this side buckle. So check these before you actually get them. This is an air vent that you can also cover. I'll leave that covered for now. Okay, what they want you to do is put your air hose through here, and that's good. And the tool comes with a quick disconnect, so you can do this. That won't go on. If you look at that, this one's just a little tiny bit shorter, and the shorter comes in this top ring. This is about the same, but the way this top ring is, it's not going in enough. So this is what I buy as sets, and they work fine. But when I try this one, it won't work. And that is pressed in as far as it'll go. So that's just not going to work. I'm going to have to replace that. Did not anticipate that. Okay, we got a different air hose. This is Merlin, their premium brand. Let's see if it'll fit. It works fine. So the expensive brand works. This one doesn't. This one will not go on. So I went and got a third air hose fitting. These two look identical, but this one fits. So this one fits. This one does not. This one does. So the Merlin fits, one of the cheap ones fits, and one of them doesn't. I find that very, very odd. Okay, well, I found another one. And it fits. So just that, there must be something wrong with that one. The next step is going to be to put in the dust collector. The problem with that is you can't get to it. This is supposed to go like this, and then your shop back hose fits inside of that, but there's no way to reach through here and access the back of that to either hold the nut or to hold the bolt. So what you have to do, you can either take this window off or crawl through the door to hold it on the inside. You're supposed to take this window off to replace the film on the inside. But with each machine screw that goes through and have a bolt on the back, that's going to be a pain in the ass. There's 4, 8, 12 screws, all of which have a nut on the back. I would think these would be easier to take off except for one thing. You have to fit this glove over top of that. The whole construction of this points to the fact that this window was out. That's how you put it together. So I'm going to take 12 screws out to get that dust port in. Not excited. And I got to tell you, if I didn't have long arms, I wouldn't be able to do this. And what about when I put it on and seal it? Oh, that was... So you need to be careful, because as soon as I did that, this fell out. It's very possible that could break. So here we go. I'll line up the holes in the mount with the holes in the cabinet. Put these in. What they give you is just barely long enough, by the way. And I'll hold the screw in with the screwdriver, and I'll hold the nut to the screw. Extremely poor design. It wouldn't have been that much harder to put that somewhere else. Or pre-installed at the factory. Next, I can't get over how awkward this is. As bad as this is, they should have put this on at the factory. Can't begin to tell you how awkward that is. That's pretty solid. I didn't seal that. We'll use it. If it needs sealed, I'll seal it. I wanted to assemble this as is, use it, see how much it leaked, and then actually use the silicone sealant to seal it. Okay, while I have this open, I'll show you the hole. There is a small cavity down in there at the very bottom, and you use that to drain it. That's actually that is also where you stick the intake. We'll see how that's put together in just a minute. And there is the hole for the hose. This is an air vent. And here are the gloves. So we'll get some close-ups of these. Now if I put my hand in and hold that, I don't have a lot of dexterity there. Okay, so I managed to get that poured in. Before I put this back on, let's do some other stuff. This is an air intake. I can block that or cover it up, whichever I prefer. Okay, this is where the air hose goes. And this is my air hose. I have two ends. This one goes on the inside, and this will not go through that hole with this end on it. So I've got to take that end off, thread the hose through, then put the end on, and then, in my opinion, that hose is then permanently in there because I don't want to take that apart every time. Well, because of that, I went and found a small hose that I will install in there permanent. So I don't have to worry about that hole from now on. Okay, so I've got this hose. I loosened that up, took it off. Since I have the window off, I'll just put it down here, feed that through. Now, this end will be for the tool, like this. So that'll stay inside the cabinet now. And I'll put this back on. So that's now a permanent hose for this particular hood. Read online that a lot of people say this is the wrong size for their shop vac. To me, the traditional shop vac is 2 1/4. So that is a loose fit. But, so I went and got this. This is one of the hose pieces for the shop vac. And it goes in, this goes on. That's a pretty tight fit. So that's probably how I'll use that. Now, I think what they're saying is the newer shop vacs come with a little 1-inch hose. And this is what they look like. You notice that they have an adapter, but that adapter goes on the shop vac side. This goes on the tool side. So that isn't going to work. But you can buy an adapter at Harbor Freight for about $3 that'll adapt that. This is not what I consider to be the standard shop vac hose, although this is the size that comes on the Harbor Freight shop vac. I don't know if everybody considers 2 1/4 the standard size, but that's what this is made for. I put this side on. Be very careful when you put that on, because once it goes on, you're probably going to have to cut it off. Even without the hose clamp, it's still so sticky, this rubber, to that metal, it's not going to come loose. And these are the replaceable cones. These are supposed to be ceramic. Now, I've heard that you cannot get replacements, but I have a better option than a replacement anyway. This is Harbor Freight's 50-pound spot blast kit. It's portable. Comes with a sandblast gun. This is my second one. The first one I donated to a good cause. Okay, so here is and it uses a different end. You loosen that and you pull that out. Now they also sell a replacement handle for 20 bucks. Well, for a replacement handle for 20 bucks, I'll go buy this one for 24, and you get all this hose. When I've used up all the ends and I need another one, I can't find them, I'll replace it with something like this. Watch for this on an upcoming review. I've actually bought the cabinet to use with this one. This one doesn't have an enclosure, and it is one hell of a mess to use. So I actually bought the enclosure to replace this. The directions for this cabinet: next best thing to useless, almost non-existent. So the hose fits easy on this side and you clamp it, it'll work fine, or you could really work and stretch it, get it on this side. And what you run into here is that rubber is so clingy to metal that I got that on about a 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, and it doesn't want to go anymore. So they give you this hose clamp. I'm not sure it matters which end you put it on. Functionally, you're limited by the smallest hole. So this is the smallest. I'll end up putting that down in that cavity, and that'll be the pickup. I really think they had the potential to make a really nice cabinet here. And I think they kind of messed up a little in the interest of cost savings. But the metal itself, the metal cabinet, I actually like very much. So I'm going to get that as tight as I can. And that's ready. That slides down in the cavity. This you work with, and you hook into the air hose. Air hose in. You do not have to use a quick disconnect on that. I chose to. So hook that up so I've got enough room to move around. Get some more hose. I'm crimping the end here. You don't want to do that. So plenty of room. I think this was put in backwards, but I don't know there's any way to take it out now. Is this corner cut would be better off down here, because when I'm using this, that's kind of going to get in the way. If I'm careful, it won't. Well, it's basically together now. It desperately needs a light on the inside. I bought this one. I don't know that that's going to be enough, but we'll try that. So now I need to put this back in. I'll show you the film. Now you can see the edges of it, but in reality, it's transparent right now. But it is got double-sided tape all the way around. And there might be a way to make those out of something else. I don't know if Harbor Freight actually sells replacements. Now this goes here. Make sure you have the film on the inside. And this is going to be an exercise in not breaking the glass. Okay, very carefully show you that there is a slot this fits in. So there we go. So I put that in the slots, and only one screw fell out. I actually feel very lucky. So I want to put it up here. Put it in the holes. And the glass stayed in the slot. That was lucky. So let's try to do the exact opposite of what we did to get it out. I don't want to seal any of this yet. I want to do that at the end. I want to see how it does without it. If this ends up leaking, I'm more likely to go and get some door weather stripping and put around it than I am the silicone, because the silicone is going to be a mess to get this back off at a later time. Okay, so that's the basic assembly. I found the 2 screws that I was missing. The camera fell over while I was putting them on. I like it so far. This is pretty good steel. Worried about replacing the film. Probably have to take that off again. But I want to do that. Every time I take that off, I want to take it off and clean the glass really good before I put it back on. So it's worth the effort. Okay, they warn you not to use aluminum oxide because it will get in the air and make you sick. They want you to use the blast media they sell, which I think are glass balls. I'm not absolutely sure. Went to Tractor Supply and bought black diamond abrasives. This is the fine, and this is actually some type of coal slag that is pulverized and is extremely sharp. I've used this before with the portable sandblaster, and it works really good. Now, they say put 10 pounds in. This is 50 pounds. I'm going to put about half of the bag in. I'll do that for a couple of reasons. I have a feeling that 10 pounds of the other might be bigger than this. I don't know. Now, the people at Tractor Supply could probably work at Harbor Freight, because I went there to get this and they told me they didn't carry it. So it took me a few minutes to find it, but I found it and went ahead and bought it. Kind of makes me wonder how they work there if they don't know what they sell. Okay, so there's no graceful way to do this, but before you do it, flip it over. And there's this, the drain plug. It's got a plastic filler right there that you have to take out to actually drain it. Yeah, I can tighten that all the way by hand. But you want to be sure that that's in there, or you'll lose all your media out the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to get this down in the cavity at the bottom. There's that down in the cavity. You can see that drain hole in there too. Okay, so let's put some media in. Got me a respirator. I didn't put quite half of the bag, maybe a third. So there we go. I don't want to put too much in there. I'm afraid it's going to draw moisture. But it's enough to get working. If I close the door, it's really ready to go. I normally wouldn't put one tripod in the frame of another tripod's camera, but I want to mount the camera here so we can see down in there. I'm actually worried about all the lights reflecting off of that, but let's give it a shot. That needs a hell of a lot more light than that. I'm going to use it as is, and then we'll do the upgrades later. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands in the gloves. There we go. I'm going to I put this wrench in here. I had sandblasted this once before and put a flat black on it, and it's rusting a little. I want to sandblast it again to bare metal. I'm going to sacrifice these pliers to this cabinet so that I have something to hold everything with. I do not want to sandblast my gloves. I've got that on about 80. So this is very, very low pressure for a sandblaster. I'm gonna go turn the air pressure up to 100 on this. Now, I'm gonna have to get some more video later, but this will do for the first time. 100 PSI. This is without this is without a water filter, which you should get. Considerably faster than the 60 or 70 I had before. It's actually coming out good, but it's not moving enough grit. Let's check that by grabbing the other end. We'll take a look at that wrench here in a minute. Let's see what we got. Okay, this one I'm going to freehand. I'm not going to hold. Let's see how it does on this. You can see down in there, it's not draining down into the bottom like it should. I have an idea of how to fix this. I should have put the whole bag in. I'm not sure what that discoloration is, but this is getting it off really well. Like I was saying, it's just a matter of how much time you want to put into it, how clean you're going to get it. There we go. Let me pull that out. We'll take a look at it. Pretty good finish. I wouldn't say it's quite ready to paint, but it's pretty close. Okay, so how did the box itself do? Well, you can see here on the front, there's some residue. I think that leaked right along this edge. It looks like that screw might not be in all the way. And there's what came out, just a little bit, considering I did that for almost an hour. Didn't use any dust collection. There's a little bit of dust there that came out the edge. This removable thing wasn't this removable thing wasn't in very good, and it leaked all over the place. So I have to figure out what to do about that. So how did it do over here? I see a little bit of grit along the bottom. So something's leaking. That looks like it might have been the door. So I don't consider that bad. I didn't use dust collection. I didn't try to seal anything ahead of time. There's a little bit of blowout out the back. How did it do underneath? There's a little bit, but not much. Now, the lighting situation, got to do something radically different. So in there it looks like hell, but I expect it to. Now down in there, you can see how that doesn't go down, back down. It's all on the side over here. It didn't all automatically rotate down in that bottom. Now what fell on the edges, I'm okay with not going down in because it has no path, but what fell down in the bottom should have went down in that cavity, and it didn't. It's collected all on this side over here. So anyway, I consider that a success, and we'll do an anatomy later, and I'll start working on the improvements. I know there's going to have to be some, and I know they give me sealant so I can seal up anything that's leaking. If you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.